Continuing our conversation now with Jessica Stone, and I ask a tough question of you. And I thank you for the answer because I think a lot of people need to understand what it's like to be on different sides of issues without necessarily being disagreeable. What is your question now of me? And I'll hate you, by the way, when it's over.
Oh, no, you won't. I personally would like to understand, there is a lot in common with religious voters that are white, black, brown, you name it. Why do they vote different ways? Why do we see the black church often leaning more progressive, and we see the white non-denominational church, who often has so much in common from a spiritual perspective with the African American church? Is that just because we know in church history, I don't remember how much we talked about this, but church history and the way churches evolved in our country really, really changed during the 1960s. And you had whole different kinds of churches and church branches branch off during the 60s because of the civil rights movement. But I just think about today, what do you think motivates a religious black voter from vote separately from a religious white voter? Because I do see differences in the way they vote.
I think it has to do with okay, I can give you an example. I grew up United Methodist in Wheeling, West Virginia. And there comes a point where you always say to yourself, I need to go to church. I don't know what the crisis is. I don't know what the crossroads are, but I reached a crossroads and I was in Raleigh, North Carolina. And I remember walking into a United Methodist church in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I never felt more awkward in my life. And my experience, and it's only mine, is that African Americans go to church on more of a guttural, spiritual, it's almost like it is a transformational feeling that you get when you go to church. It's a safe zone. And I think it has been that way since slavery. It has been a safe place for us to go, to be us, to be black. I have seen and know a lot of different ministers who are white. It's more of an intellectual thing. And I think until we can cross that racial divide, oddly enough, I don't know that we're going to be able to manage that spiritual divide. But you're right, it's different. It's same gospels. And I'll tell you
Can I
one.
just follow up? Because I think one thing the black church has down pat, every time I've been in one, the Holy Spirit is rocking and rolling. Like, the experience is much more visceral. And I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And there was, I don't know, I forget who said that the most segregated time
Sunday
in America is Sunday morning.
Yep.
I don't think that's what Jesus would want. I really don't. I think we both agree that that's not what Jesus would want. So why do we still do it? Is it comfort? Is it culture? And how much can we force ourselves to want something different on a Sunday morning?
I figured it out. When we go to church on Sunday, one of the things that black ministers have been teaching us now since I was a little boy, on the front page of my hometown newspaper, the day that Martin Luther King died, was that we had to figure out a way to get along with people who didn't look like us. And the way that we figured out how to get along with people who didn't look like us had to do with Christianity, had to do with the Gospels. And ministers taught that: turn the other cheek, suffer the little children not, feed the hungry. We were the hungry, we were the poor, we were the other cheek that had to be turned. I think that we're reaching a sense of reckoning in America right now where, as the demographics change, white America is now going to have to learn how to listen to the preacher on Sunday too, and turn the other cheek and be a little bit more sympathetic to the poor and understand, and I think the person that said it best was the coach of the LA Clippers, Doc Rivers, who said, "We have been trying to get you to like us for so long, and you don't. What do we need to do?" And I think the church for black Americans has always been that safe place where we look at white Christians and say, why can't you practice what you preach?
That makes me sad.
Not me. It's the same church. We get there.
With that concept that you aren't liked, that makes me really sad. Have you felt that way over the course of your life, that people don't like you because of what you look like?
I've been reminded of it most of the time when I feel like I'm accepted. And I think the most recent example might have been the election that Donald Trump won. I think a lot of African Americans thought that after Barack Obama, we had reached a point in this country where there had been a racial awakening. And I think we turned the clock back. I mean, and that's just my personal feeling, not as a journalist, but as an African American man. When I drive down the road in the Black News Channel van, people flip me off. They don't know me, so we got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Name of the book again?
Crossing the Divide.
And why do I like it so much? Because of you.
Oh, well, thank you.
No, if you want to buy any book, buy this one, please, because I know the author, I know her heart. And like I said, we may disagree on a lot of things, but we talk. And I really enjoyed this. Jessica, thanks for being with us.